What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about this Underworld team, and we're going to go over the updated kits for the 4 Underworld characters that are getting reworks, which are Taskmaster, Kingpin, Nobu, and Green Goblin. We're going to talk about that, kind of talk about what this team is supposed to be doing. We're going to break that all down in today's video. So if you guys do enjoy this video, you found it helpful or informative, make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. This team, 100% right now, feels like a trap. I'm going to be straight up honest. So what's going on is we had a dev interview, and I'm recording this like 6 hours before the video is supposed to go live. There's a whole bunch of drama going on behind the scenes with this team. So in our dev interview, we were told explicitly this team will beat regular Darkhold and Stormhold teams on defense in war. And then they send us this footage, and right off the bat, it looks great. Like, you're doing really good here, but it's going to turn in a second. Once Morgan starts moving, this team's going to fall apart. Right now, this team just does not work. At least according to the footage here. Like, you can see we've got trauma and ability block now on both Nobu and Taskmaster. The team's not working. So, we're basically told, like, there may be something going on with this team in the test footage that's not working properly, and that they're going to get back to us. But it's 6 hours before this video is supposed to go live. And that's our embargo time, basically. So, right now, I cannot, I just can't endorse building up this team. Because if they're going to send me this footage while telling me that's supposed to beat Darkhold teams in war, I cannot tell you guys to invest in this team while we're showing this footage in the background. Now, it's not all bad. Like, this is going to beat up Darkhold and Stormhold teams in war. At least that's what we're told it's going to do. There you go. Wiped out a bunch of characters. Now, however, it will still also beat Heroes for Hire. Yeah, you can see that's pretty much it. Now, it can beat Heroes for Hire. They sent this at we're going to speed up a little bit. This team can beat Heroes for Hire as well. So, if you haven't built up Dark Hunters, I can see where this team is going to be useful, because Dark Hunters has a lot of mystic gear that you need to invest in them. This team does not as much. Like, you've got both Mr. Negative and Nobu, who are mystic, and you've got skill with Taskmaster, you've got bio with Green Goblin, and I can't remember what Kingpin is off the top of my head, but I believe he's skill. But this is if you need that Heroes for Hire counter that can do solid punch-ups, like, this team should be able to do solid punch-ups against Heroes for Hire as well. This is going to be the team for you to do, for you to build up then, if you haven't built up Dark Hunters. A lot less Mystic Gear. Did it just freeze on me? Yeah, it just froze. Video's trying to buffer. So, I can see where this would have an appeal if you haven't built up your Dark Hunters, because you've got 4 reworked characters here, while Dark Hunters has both Morbius and Dr. Voodoo as new characters, while Underworld just has Mr. Negative. So, it's a little bit easier to build up to counter those Heroes for Hire teams if you don't have Dark Hunters. But if you already have Dark Hunters, you don't really need this team either. So, right now, I'm going to recommend nobody builds up this team. But also, even if you really wanted to beat Darkhold on War Offense, it's a team that's manufactured to be a punch across. And right now, people are building up their Dark Hunters to tier 16 and tier 17 for Apocalypse. Are you going to take these characters with tier 16 or tier 17 as well to counter that team in war? So, it's a team that just feels like a massive gear trap. And I'm just not going to recommend anybody builds up this team. If you're really super competitive in war, I can see the appeal. But outside of that, there's no way I will recommend building up this team. I just can't. Now, the kits overall look pretty good. But when I asked if this team was going to be useful outside of war, like maybe counter Darkhold outside of war, I was given a very firm no. So don't expect this team to really do a lot in Crucible. There's no real raid synergies here. This is pretty much strictly a war team. So, enough talking about how this team sucks and that you shouldn't build it up. Let's dive into the update notes here. So Green Goblin got some nice stat boosts, increased health by 15%, damage by 40%, armors by 20%, focus by 60%, and base resist stat was increased by 25%. We'll move this over a little bit for you guys. The special, this is where you're going to see like some of the Darkhold counter kind of stuff. So a special already attacks the target that's in stealth. If no one's in stealth, attacks the primary target for a certain amount of damage and deals 50% additional damage per positive effect on the target. Now, if someone is inside stealth, they get attacked for a little bit more damage, 480% versus 450%, but also you bonus attack that target for 500% damage. If no target has stealth, attack the primary target for 480% damage instead. Characters killed by this attack cannot be revived, and this attack is unavoidable and cannot be blocked. So this is where the Stormhold counter stuff kind of comes into play. You know, you drop someone low on health, and then you use the special here with Green Goblin to wipe out that character. So this is part of that counter to Darkhold as well. You know, when someone drops low on health on the Darkhold team, they get thrown into stealth. They get a couple of different buffs on them. Well, now you have Green Goblin special, which is going to do more damage because of all those buffs on them. Plus they're in stealth. It should be able to pretty easily kill someone. Now, one issue I do have is that this attack does not clear or ignore death proof. So if someone's got death proof on them, this could be an issue. His ultimate, yeah, it got a little bit of a damage boost, attacks its primary target for 330% damage, and now attacks 5 random targets. It was 3 to 4 random targets for 330% damage. So about a 40% damage boost overall for the, or just 40% additional damage on the abilities, and a 5th target instead of 3 to 4. On his passive, before, this is where I said that I could see Green Goblin working well with Tangled Web inside of Crucible because of the Spider-Verse synergy. Well, now that Spider-Verse, choosing 2 random enemies if they have a positive effect, remove 1. Now, on any Spider-Verse or Underworld allies turn, remove 1 positive effect that have a positive effect but does not have Safeguard. So, you know, this is not going to bypass Safeguard, which could be an issue. On War Offense, if Mr. Negative is an ally, gain 350% bonus focus for this action, which is good because you have a lot of bonus resistance and defense up on your Darkhold teams. So, you know, having that bonus extra focus is going to be really good. On spawn, apply defense down for 2 turns to the enemy with the most resistance. The attack cannot be resisted, which means Morgan Le Fay, which is great because Morgan Le Fay is going to be like the one character you really build up on the Darkhold team. So now you get defense down on her, cannot be resisted. That's going to negate the defense up that she has on her. Defense up gives a 50% boost to resistance. Now you have that defense down, which is going to give a minus 50% boost. So pretty much you're going to negate those two, which is good. Good. On War Offense, if Mr. Negative is an ally on spawn, apply defense down to all enemies. If an enemy is Mystic, apply defense down for 2 turns. The attack cannot be resisted. Again, Darkhold stuff. Full Darkhold team is Mystic, so they get defense down for 2 turns. Fantastic. On War Offense, gain 30% armor for self and Underworld allies. Some nice little boost to their survivability. 20% bonus max health for himself. No bonus max health on this for Underworld allies, which surprises me. I was figuring they would give most max health here, bonus max health, to Underworld allies, but no such luck. Moving on to Taskmaster, 20% bonus health, 30% boost to damage, 15% boost to armor, and 10% boost to his focus. On the basic, there's a note here. They changed the wording just a little bit, just to make it a little bit clearer. As before, it says it steals 3 positive effects, and now transfers 3 positive effects, excluding taunt from the primary target to self, and going from 250% damage to 300% damage. This is just a wording change here. It doesn't actually change the mechanics of the ability. But also remember, this is part of his assist, and we'll talk about that in a minute. He's going to be assisting quite a bit with this team. So you will, he's going to basically copy and transfer positive effects. Now, transfer also works against characters who have Safeguard. You can still copy. At least I think it does. I can't remember. I know Skilletary can do some weird stuff with Safeguard on characters. They can still copy, but they can't clear. So, yeah, this should work the same way, but we'll see. The special, it did originally attack with 330% damage and apply stun, and now attacks for 350% damage and applies stun, and 300% bonus focus for this ability. Rebounds of 3 additional targets with 300% damage and applies offense down. Counterattack breaks this chain, but if he has 3 or more Underworld allies, his attack cannot be countered. His ultimate, we already know how much of a pain that is. Applies blind to the primary target and 2 random secondary targets. Applies bleed for 2 turns to all enemies. Bonus attack all targets with bleed for 100% piercing and an unavoidable attack. Now, attacks with 300% damage. Applies blind and heal block to the primary target and 2 random secondary targets. But inside of War, blind and heal block to all enemies. Fantastic. That's part of that. That's part of that counter to Heroes for Hire as well. 2 turns of bleed for all enemies. Bonus attack all targets with bleed for 200% piercing. And this character has 3 or more non-summoned Underworld allies. 500% bonus focus for this ability. Unavoidable. Fantastic stuff there. That's the same thing with Morbius with Heroes for Hire. Well, now with your Underworld team, they get a pretty big turn meter boost at the start of the fight. So you're gonna get that blind on the entire enemy team. You're gonna heal block on them. Some good stuff. Passive, we already know how that works, but a couple of different things. He now gains assist now on Underworld ally turns, 20% chance to counterattack, and 20% chance to counterattack, plus another 20% per mercenary or Underworld ally. 30% boost in damage, which is going up from 15%, so another 15% boost in damage. Mercenary, villain, or Underworld allies gain 30% bonus damage as well. Fantastic. In War, on spawn, fill speed bar for self, all mercenary, villain, and Underworld allies by 10%, plus 10% per mercenary or Underworld ally. Massive speed bar boost for this team at the start of the fight. It's a 50% speed bar boost for the entire team. That's huge. That's ridiculous. That's probably the best we've seen for War offense, outside of Omega Red, who gets like 60% at the start of the fight. Now you have the 50% for the entire Underworld team. And on turn, this character has 2 or more mercenary, villain, or Underworld allies. Apply taunt to the enemy with the highest damage. Unavoidable, and gains 10,000% bonus focus for this. 25% damage for self and Underworld allies. Fantastic stuff there. Really like it. Moving on to Kingpin. Increased damage by 62%. Base armor by 110%. He has 0% armor. They said this is going to be about middle of the road armor for him. Increased his resist stat by 28% and speed by 42%. So going to be quite a bit faster now. And he also gets that speed bar boost at the start of the fight with Taskmaster. So some good stuff there. His basic got a nice little rework here. If this character has 3 or more non-summoned Underworld allies, 15% bonus crit chance plus 15% crit chance for each non-summoned Underworld ally. On crit, bury yourself for 10% of this character's max health, plus 50% chance to gain assist from a random ally. Now, his ISO attack will get, according to the devs, the ISO attack gets all of this as well with it. So I can see the appeal in Striker. I'm probably leaning Raider on him because of this and the barrier. There's more synergy with barrier down below in his kit. So I can see where Raider would be very good because of that bonus crit chance and the bonus barrier every time he assists. His special now summons 3 bodyguards. They gain taunt and 2 death proof when summoned. On War offense, apply safeguard to self and all Underworld allies. Perfect. His ultimate now applies offense up for 2 turns to self and all allies. Gain assist from a random Underworld ally and gain assist from a random ally. Beautiful stuff. Offense up for 2 turns. Love it. Defense up for 2 turns to self and all allies. Love it. So nice little rework here. This is part of what made Kingpin like a powerful character way back in the day, was that defense up and offense up. Like, that was some really powerful stuff. And now you get it for 2 turns. And it's not even a War exclusive thing. Like, this could really make Kingpin an interesting plug-and-play character once more. We'll see how it all pans out. And then in his new passive, at the start of each villain's ally's turn, before it was 25% chance for an ally to gain team attack for that turn. Now, on spawn, summon a bodyguard, which gains taunt and 2 death proof when summoned. My monitor's like wigging out on me over here. On this character or any villain ally's turn, 50% chance to apply assist now to self or random ally. Full Underworld team as villains. At the end of this character's turn, if this character has barrier, apply speed up and offense up to all summoned Underworld allies. My screen looks like it's about to wig out on me. It's flickering on me. Okay, when attacked, fill this character and all summoned ally speed bar by 20%. We should have asked about that yesterday. That wasn't quite clear. We also got these notes like an hour before the dev meeting. This whole, everything yesterday was just a big old mess. But I believe that means when attacked instead of unattacked. We'll have to ask. 60% bonus focus for him and Underworld allies. 60% bonus resistance for him and Underworld allies as well. So you basically get a pre-taunt with him. You get that mercenary bodyguard that has taunt and 2 stacks of death proof. So that mercenary bodyguard is basically a pre-taunt. It's going to help kind of absorb some of the fights, some of the blows from the enemy team. Now, that also can be an issue because you can't predetermine where that mercenary bodyguard is going to spawn. So that could be a bit of an issue. Mercenary bodyguard, this is just... So you're also going to see some boosts to Hand Archer and Blade Master. Those are just the summons for Nobu. Same thing here with Mercenary Bodyguard. We don't have a bodyguard in game. This is just a stat increase to the minion summon that Kingpin does. So moving on to Nobu. Increased health by 60%, damage by 30%, armor by 51%, focus by 25%, and resist by 25%. His basic now attacks the primary target for 330% damage and applies bleed. Applies stealth to self and the most injured ally, and gains an assist from a random hand or underworld ally. Now, there's no like real reworks to hand. Nobu got a buff here with Underworld, but there's no big like hand rework yet. His special now summons 3 hand ninjas with offense up and regeneration, clears all negative effects from self, and his possible summons are Blade Master and Archer. His ultimate now applies 2 counter to self and all allies, 2 deflect to self and all allies, and on war offense applied 2 death proof to self and all allies. Beautiful. His passive, all hand and underworld allies gain 10% chance to revive with 20% of their max health, which we kind of already had. All other allies get a 5% chance to revive with 15% of max health. On war offense, if this character in any hand ally or underworld ally has counter, these characters gain 50% crit chance, and if this character, hand ally, or any underworld ally has stealth, those characters gain 20% crit damage as well. So you're seeing there's going to be quite a bit of Raider synergy going on with this team. A lot of crit chance, a lot of crit damage with them. I mean, you get a lot of counter due to Nobu. His basic is going to apply stealth, so Striker with Nobu may be a thing. We'll see. Moving on, yes, some stat increases to both Hand Blade Master and Hand Archer. Again, those are just the minion summons that are getting stat boost. Nothing for our regular minion characters we have in game. My monitor, something's going on with my monitor. We'll have to figure that out later. Rogue got some buffs here, but that's just for her level 8 abilities. This is just gonna be part of her saga. So now she is guaranteed to double tap with her basic for if she has a Horseman or Apocalypse ally, and 25% crit chance for each Horseman or Apocalypse ally for his attack. So Raider could be quite a thing for her. And then for Southern Hospitality at level 6, Apocalypse and all Horseman allies gain 25% damage, and clones this character and all Horsemen and Apocalypse allies have reduced max health and speed. This is pretty much to counter the whole Mr. Sinister and cloning Morgan thing. My second monitor is down and just not turning on, so I'm going off my other screen right now. But yeah, this pretty much means that this is going to pretty much shut down any kind of Mr. Sinister counter that you're going to try to do with this team. So that's going to kind of wrap it up for me. What do you guys think of the stuff with Underworld? Are you going to build up this team? Are you not? Let me know down below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. I will see you guys next time.